At a time when global leadership is still overwhelmingly men, women heads of state are reshaping power, priorities, and diplomacy. And part of that rare cohort is the President of Kosovo. Thank you for speaking to India Today, Ms. Osmani. What's your view like in a summit such as this? How important is it for women heads of state to present their view of the country from their lens?
It is increasingly important, and obviously the number of women heads of states and government is still very small around the world. I think only about 20 out of almost 200 countries are led by women, which is unfortunate given that about half of the world's population is composed of women. And of course, the underrepresentation is not happening because of the lack of will or because of the lack of capabilities, but because of massive discrimination that happens in so many countries and in all professions, I would say, but particularly in politics. But the more we participate in summits like this, the more we raise our voice, the more we represent our country, the more I would say we are stronger in terms of not just in representing our country, but in representing half of the population of the world. And at the same time, we make sure that we open more pathways for young women who want to join politics and who will be inspired to one day come and represent their countries in such summits. Unfortunately, like in every summit that I participate, I am oftentimes the only woman at the table. This time I think we're 2 or 3 at the summit, hopefully more, but I've seen just a few, but we're hoping to change that. In our region, that is changing. In Southeastern Europe, there's more women presidents now than ever before. And I'm particularly happy that through our work, we have also managed to encourage many young women to join politics, to join public service, and to see that they can not just represent their country, but they can truly serve the people in the best possible way. And they can do that either locally or when they speak at international tables and where their voice is heard.
You are also one of the youngest leaders the world is seeing. So, Ms. Osmani, you are on the peace board.
Yes.
Kosovo is on the peace board. In Davos, you were there as well. So
the only woman again.
The only woman again. So you have had several firsts already. So, when we look at the role of women in peace dialogues.
I'm glad that you asked that question because statistics show that the more women are involved in peace comes faster and it lasts longer. That has been the case in my country, in our region in general. That has been the case everywhere in the world, whether we're talking about the African continent, whether we're talking about Asia or Latin America, in places where conflict was destroying and was causing so much suffering. The role of women in making peace and in keeping that peace alive has been fundamental, which is why in Kosovo we have put so much emphasis to the women, peace and security agenda, because we believe that the more we include women in the peace dialogue, in the table where peace is decided, the faster it comes. Now, of course, we have also decided to join the Board of Peace that is led by the President of the United States of America, because only about 26 years ago, we were in the receiving end of support from the international community when it comes to peacemaking and peacekeeping. So many experts, so many peacekeepers from around the world have contributed to achieving the peace that today we enjoy. And I oftentimes mention that our kids, our children, are the very first generation in the history of the existence of our nation that have not known war and have only lived in peace. And that is a miracle. That is the most noble mission that one can engage in. So engaging in peace, I think, it can be multifaceted. Some countries can contribute more in different ways. From Kosovo, we bring our experience, and an experience that is one of the biggest success stories in the world when it comes to peacemaking and peacekeeping. And today we're a sovereign, independent country that is ready to give back and to contribute to other nations around the world that need a helping hand.
Women leaders, as I'm speaking to one, often speak about inclusive and rule-based order. Do you think that becomes particularly significant given the geopolitical tensions and uncertain times that we are living in?
It is true. It's quite uncertain times, but we see that, of course, within the United Nations, oftentimes the veto rights have blocked decision-making that would be at the benefit of the people or would go in the direction of saving lives, which is why we have also seen the Board of Peace as complementary to the United Nations, not replacing it, but complementary in the sense that when you have an organization where no one can block, no one can use the veto, decisions can be taken quicker and lives can be saved as a result of that, instead of getting blocked with the veto for many decades and people will continue to die. I mean, as a little kid, we were all displaced from our house and I was in a mountain, trying to save ourselves from the bombs and the grenades. And we were listening with other kids to a little radio to all of these UN meetings. And it was, a lot of statements. We were hoping that they would come and save us. And it took the leadership role of a number of countries, at that time led by the United States, to take that decision. Well, it was not in the UN, but however, it was in full compliance with international law, but they did act. So I think at this point in time, yes, we should continue to talk about the rules-based international order, but at the same time, we need to try and fix it because there are so many things that haven't worked. And if we try to fix it, we need to join hands, we need to join forces to make sure that we put people's lives front and center of our policy making.
Ms. Osmani, just a few days ago, India and European Union have deepened their trade ties. A very important deal which has been in the making for a good 18 years has been inked. Do you think these developments in terms of strategic partnerships are good for both the countries and particularly for the European Union, 27-nation European Union?
Absolutely. We're part of the European continent and we very much welcome this agreement between India and the European Union, and we've supported it. We are a country that is 100% aligned with the European Union foreign and security policy decisions. And of course, we aim to join the European Union very, very soon. We hope that we're in the right direction given this full alignment. So at the same time, I think that this will open enormous opportunities for both the European continent and India. We share a lot of the same values, and I think there is so much potential that can help the economies of both India as well as the European Union, so we absolutely welcome it.
Let's wrap up this conversation with your final thoughts, particularly on women leadership. And you may say that this is a question that is not often asked to male heads of state, but are there women leaders who believe in sisterhood? Do you interact with heads of state of other countries and feel that you get support from them?
You mean women, other women leaders?
Women supporting other women.
Yes, absolutely. I've been supported by many women leaders around the world throughout my career, even well before I became president, but I think their support has opened pathways for me to be where I am today. Whether we're talking about women leaders from Kosovo or women leaders from all around the world, I've been blessed with that support. And I try to do the same by encouraging and supporting young women leaders and others, and not just in our region, but also beyond. I think that is fundamental. Men do support each other, especially if they try to keep women away from politics. They work together very well. So how about we work together as well, or even better, to make sure that we bring more women at the forefront of leading their countries, and I would say leading the world. Again, if we want really peace to happen, statistics and the reality on the ground shows the more women at the table, peace comes faster and it lasts longer.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.